Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Murphy from the Sports Insanity Network, and welcome to another exciting edition of Murphy's View. I am joined here today by my good friend, colleague, the host of, let's see if I can get all this right. Ready? Breakaway Bandits, The Face Turn, Wishbone Shotgun, and Sunday Sideline Report. And occasionally comes on Sports Insanity Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one, the only, thank God, Mike, the pun master, Rifkin.
What's going on?
Mike, good to see you.
I'm ecstatic to be here. I love what we're going to be talking about. You can't wipe the smile from my face.
Yeah, but you pretty much wipe it from mine. Well, today we're going to call this what it is. It's the 2022 Yankee Autopsy Report. Reaction to the LCS and where the Yankees are going to go from here. And you know, you want to know something interesting here? You all know I'm a diehard Yankee fan. And I'm doing this with a Met fan.
A diehard Met fan who doesn't even really love the Die Hard movies.
You don't?
I think once you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Yeah, but the first one's good. Can we admit that?
First one's great. But there's no reason to have like 7 of them.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I think it's interesting. I'm having the conversation with a diehard Met fan, but I think that's a good thing. Because in a way, Mike, you can kind of give like an objective perspective here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's kind of why I wanted to do this, because I thought it'd be fun.
Because I could give like the perspective as a Yankee fan, and Mike can give the more objective perspective.
As a massive Astros fan.
Oh, you were enjoying every minute that night, weren't you?
I enjoyed the whole series. I really did. I can't lie.
And you're enjoying like, oh, can't wait to see Bill and watch him suffer.
Not just you. There are a lot of Yankee fans in the social media realm and in real life who just this was your wake-up call.
Now, you know what? Before we get into the nitty-gritty, I'm going to be honest with you. The ones who like beat their chests like every 5 seconds and like gloat about the 27 rings. Like, I'll be honest, Mike, I'm a diehard Yankee fan, and I can't even stand those fans.
Yeah, they're
I
the
can't
ones
even
that
stand them.
Really grind my gears.
Like, I remember in 2013, the day after the Red Sox won a World Series, I remember there was a meme in one of my Yankee Facebook groups of, don't worry, Yankee fans, it'll take forever before the Red Sox catch up to us. And I'm like, okay, today's not the day to put the 27 rings on the table and say nothing else matters. And you know what? People want to know, well, why do they hate Yankee fans so much? That's why. Because they are a bunch of, they're like, and I'm very sorry to Mark Olop's guy Halpern, we love you. They're like the Dallas Cowboy fans of baseball.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
And again, coming from a diehard Yankee fan here. So I might get my card revoked by some people after that, but I don't care.
No. It's an objective viewpoint.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if you weren't alive in 1920 when they won the World Series. I don't want to hear it from you.
Their first World Series actually in 1923, by the way.
I'll take crap from people from the 70s Yankees when they won, the 90s Yankees when they won, and 2009. Unless you are alive in the past to see it, I don't want to hear it from you.
Okay, so now let's get down to business. Okay, this series, Mike, I'm going to start with you from an objective perspective. What did you think of this series?
I thought a few things. One, the New York Yankees are not one player away
from a World Series.
I never want to hear the words 2017 again, though, because that was all, everything you heard, the 2017 Astros and how they cheated. Guess what? You had your chance to shut them down.
Twice.
You did, and you didn't do it.
Twice.
They stomped you. Then you're, and the thing that I found the most concerning was how polar opposites these two teams were. One, think of the Astros stars. Who are the first two names you think of offensively? Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez.
Yes.
They didn't do squat.
Yeah.
In the
Altuve
series.
had a terrible series.
Altuve's had a terrible playoff. And those are the guys who didn't beat you. You know, Brett Bregman beat you, Jeremy Pena beat you, Chas McCormick beat you.
Pena had a really good series. That's why he's MVP of the series.
Flip side it to the Yankees. Their stars didn't show up. Judge didn't show up. Stanton didn't show up. But then it's what the Yankees were all year. They couldn't hit. Outside of a couple of guys.
Here's the thing with the Yankees. It's like, okay, one, I have to say it, because if I don't say it, someone else won't. Aaron Judge, actually, first, this team, and I think I said this on the podcast, they hit 162 this whole series. 162. And you mentioned Aaron Judge, and I'm sure we'll talk about him a little later, but Aaron Judge, he went 1 for 16 this whole series. Like, is this the same Aaron Judge who hit 62 home runs? Is this the same Aaron Judge who's going to most likely be American League MVP?
Oh, he's the American League MVP.
Like,
I understand the people who
would 99%. I'm holding out that 1% because you never know.
I understand the people who would vote for Ohtani, but think about this, Bill. I think one of the biggest what ifs of the playoffs is, what if the Guardians had started Shane Bieber in Game 5 instead of going with Aaron Savali / bullpen game? Oh. The Yankees may not have beaten Cleveland.
Absolutely. I agree. That would have been a tough game. And I just want to say something. I heard from people, I want to say it was on Yes or somewhere else, people were going like, well, because they didn't have the off day between the Cleveland series and the
Bull jive.
And the Houston series, because for those of you who don't remember, because it was a week ago, the Game 5 was supposed to be on a Monday, and with the how long rain delay it was, which I'm still pissed off about, because leaving people there for almost 2.5, 3 hours, and then the next day they played Game 5, and then they had to go fly to Houston for Game 1. Goes, well, because they didn't have the day to collect themselves and to rest. Shut up with the excuses. I'm done with the countless excuses of Aaron Boone and everyone else. And I know we're focused on the championship series. I'm just done with the freaking excuses. I'm done. Would you guys just shut up?
With the roof.
Of course, the roof.
The roof.
The roof. How can we forget about the freaking roof? The roof. Rifkin, the roof was open.
I mean, if you're parachuting, you want the roof to be open.
I'm done. Exactly. I'm done with the excuses here.
It's lame. It's really lame.
You know what? Have you ever used this excuse when you were at school, Rifkin? My dog ate my homework.
No, I was a good student. I did all my homework.
No, I did too. But my dog ate my homework excuse is more believable than the excuse these people are giving.
I think the Yankees were found out as frauds. Like, if you take away their start in April and May,
April to July,
they weren't a good baseball team after the All-Star break.
You're right. Like,
they just weren't.
And the second half of the season, they were 50 and 51.
Like you can make any excuse you want. Well, we didn't have our best bullpen guys because Chad Green was out. Michael Kang was out. Zach Britton was out. This guy was out. Aroldis Chapman decided to be a moron and not show up for his workout. DJ LeMahieu didn't play. I don't care. But like, even if DJ LeMahieu was healthy, where is he play? He ain't playing first because you got Rizzo there. He's not playing second because you got Gleyber Torres there. He's not playing shortstop. And is he playing third base for Donaldson? No, because you didn't have the guts to take Donaldson out of the line for one of the younger guys.
Why wasn't
LeMahieu's not an outfielder?
Why, for the love of God, was Josh Donaldson in this freaking lineup? The guy
Because you
can't hit his way
traded
out of a freaking
Giovanni
paper
Urshela
bag.
for him.
The guy can't hit his way out of the freaking paper bag. Why was he in this lineup, Aaron Boone?
Because Aaron Boone's the biggest clown of them all.
Yeah, it's just, this series was just embarrassing to watch. If you're a Yankee fan, this series, like, literally made my stomach turn. Like, and as I explained on the podcast, I was at game 3. And I'll explain it again. When I went into the stadium, everybody was, it was electric. I heard the loudest "Let's Go Yankees" chant I ever heard in my life. I'm like thinking, okay, you know what? Here we go. Comeback starts today. And then by like the 6th inning, I felt like I was at a freaking funeral.
Well, I think because it was the 6th inning when Garrett Cole got pulled.
Yeah, because I was hearing reports that he was hurt, but then I heard that that wasn't true.
Garrett Cole got what, 354? 354 million? 354 million?
I think so, yes.
So you paid that guy to be the guy. And he was pitching well in game 3. He gave the home run to McCormick, but in reality, at a real ballpark, that's not a home run.
Agreed.
Also, if Bader and Judge don't have their issue, innings over, I believe. So there's that as well. He has to get you out of that mess. You can't go to Lou Trevino.
You can't.
Because down 2-0 in the series, you go down 0-3, it's over. You could win games. That's just, it is what it is. That's the only game you could win. You need to win game 3. If Garrett Cole's your guy, you stick with him and you hope he gets you. If he gives up the hit there, he gives up the hit there.
Because even Michael Kay was saying they should have just kept him in.
By the way, kudos to Michael Kay for calling them out on everything he did. Big kudos. I'm not the biggest K fan in the world, but kudos to him for calling them out because they deserve to be called out. Aaron Boone.
You should have kept him in. You said Boone should have kept Cole in.
Should have kept Cole in. Should have done a lot of things differently. Play the kids. Play the kids. Let's see Oswaldo Cabrera and Perez. No reason in game 4 to go back to IKF.
And I like IKF. I liked him in the regular season, but in the postseason,
I mean, he's another guy. Like, I think what they did, and I think Brandon Tierney has said this, and I think Michael Kay has also said this. You're trying to be the Tampa Bay Rays. You're the New York freaking Yankees. What makes you different? What made you different than every other team in baseball? You had a willingness to spend the money. Now it's chunk change and you're just eating everything, holding it in your pocket and praying that some of these low-key moves you make work out. Because let's face it, Donaldson and IKF didn't work out.
Yeah, IKF, from what I'm going at here. IKF went 4 for 15 in the postseason.
Yeah, that's not good enough. Trevino and Montes come over from the trade deadline. Trevino could have been okay. Montes was not good.
No, Montes sucked.
So right there, those were your two major moves, off-season trade deadline, and neither one worked. And now you expect everyone to believe if we bring it back again, we're just as close because we're in the we were in the ALCS. I don't buy that. I really don't, because I think there are teams in the American League who are better than the New York Yankees right now, outside of the Houston Astros. Like, give me the Blue Jays. Like, I love that young core that they've got. If Kevin Gausman pitches the way he pitched most of the year, they'll be fine. Barrios needs to step up next year. Hyun-Jin Ryu, if he comes back healthy, that's huge for them. That's a really good team. The Seattle Mariners.
Oh, they even though they lost in the LDS, I still got to give them applause. Like,
I mean, if you take back what happened in Game 1 against Houston, they may win that series. Who knows?
Could have won that series.
Yeah, if you win Game 1, everything changes for them. So, the Rays are always good. I expect the Red Sox to be active during the off season. The White Sox can't play worse than they did this year. And hopefully they rehire Ozzie Guillen. But these are all teams that the Yankees are going to have to compete with. Oh, yeah, and the Astros who are going to the World Series again. So I'm very curious to see how they change this roster, because I do think there are several changes that should be coming.
Oh, absolutely.
But there also should have been, in my mind, a managerial change, and that's not coming.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But the thing is, it's like, and because you know what the problem with the hitting was, and you can agree or disagree with me, they're all trying to hit home runs.
And it's such a top-heavy lineup, because for my first big issue is Aaron Judge should never be hitting leadoff.
Agreed.
He should never be hitting leadoff, because you want him to drive in 2-3 runs at a time. If he's hitting leadoff, he's not getting that opportunity most of the time.
No, he should be hitting
He should be hitting 3 in a perfect world. Like your 3-4-5 or 2-3-4 should be any combination of Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, and then Torres, and however else you want to go with it. But
I would go, okay, tell me what you think of this.
Mhm.
I think Rizzo leads off, Stanton bats second, Judge bats third.
I mean, my one issue with that is I think you're going real power heavy. Like, I want this could be me and trying to be unbiased, but I want my best hitter hitting leadoff, but I want a guy who gets on base. I don't care if he leads off with a homer. That's great. I want an on-base machine. I want a Brandon Nimmo leading off. I have no issues with what the Braves do with Acuna leading off, Like the Philly lineup, because they're the other team in the World Series, they hit Schwarber leadoff. But in reality, they kind of are the same team as the Yankees. They're very top heavy. But it works for them.
Agreed.
I don't know how much I like the Yankees hitting Rizzo or Judge leadoff. I'd rather see, if he was used to it, I'd say have Bader lead off.
I just want to say, Bader and Rizzo were probably the most productive hitters in the series.
And Bader had a good playoff.
Bader had a really good playoff. And I was first going crazy about this trade, when because they had to get rid of Montgomery. And I'm thinking, this is the dumbest thing Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner have done. Well, okay, not the dumbest. There's like a big ass list of them that probably doesn't even crack the top 10. But no, it might. You know what? That's a whole separate vlog. Dumbest things Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner have done. That'll be a separate vlog. coming in the distant future. But anyway, I'm like thinking, this is stupid. Harrison Bader, who is on the IL, who is on the IR, or no, the IL for 60 days, and we give up a pitcher for this? On what planet does this make sense on?
And a pitcher they probably could have used.
Exactly. I'm like thinking, what planet does this make sense on? And then guess what happened? I'm like, Bader comes back, he hits the ball. I'm like, okay, maybe this trade wasn't so dumb after all. And Harrison Bader and Anthony Rizzo were the most productive players in this playoff.
Mm-hmm.
They were the most productive. Judge isn't doing anything. He's 1 for 16 in the ALCS. 1 for 16. That's embarrassing. No, that's beyond embarrassing. Calling that embarrassing is being too kind. But I don't know. Like, this team they go too much for the. They go too much. They swing for the fences too much. And you need to keep the ball on the ground. And I remember and I told this on the podcast, because when I was at the game on Saturday night, I was with my brother. And I remember looking to my brother, I'm like, Dan, it's 2-0, but why do I feel like it's like 10-0? And then he's like, because we can't hit for you know what. And everybody should. I don't know how to say this without giving myself a heart attack, Rifkin. In case that happens, please call the paramedics. I don't have a defibrillator down here. But anyway, like, I will say this: pitching was not a huge issue during this series. Agree or disagree?
No, the pitching was. I thought the starting pitching was fine. I
think Cole did well. I think Nestor did well.
Yeah, Nestor was clearly bothered by something. I mean, he should have been honest with it. If he wasn't healthy, can't put your team in that spot. But outside of that, Taillon did what he could do. I thought Severino was sensational. He made one mistake.
I thought Savvy pitched great.
He was great. Cole was really good. And then Cortez was pretty good outside of, what wound up happening to him. But that wasn't where they lost this series. Where they lost this series in two different places. They lost it offensively because they couldn't hit. And they lost it defensively. And it wasn't even like it was physical error. They were physical errors, but it was all up here. Like the Judge Bader thing, like one of you's got to catch that fly ball. One of you has to catch that fly ball. And then in game 4, when that ground ball's hit the Gleyber Torres, like
the Gleyber Torres IKF player,
you got to make that play. You're in the big leagues. You're in the big leagues,
I'm like, no, I think when I saw that, was it 5-4 or 5-5 at that point? I can't remember.
I want to say it was 5-4 because I think Altuve wound up scoring the tying run.
Like, I'm like sitting there thinking, well, folks, that's the game.
Well, all you got to do, like, I don't know if it was the toss. I don't know if it was the route IKF took. Like, Altuve, if you watch that play, Altuve stops. Like, Gleyber Torres could just go and tag him. Even if you don't get the out at first, you're taught from Little League, get the lead runner.
Exactly.
So either tag him, make a better pitch. If it's IKF's route, then it's on that. But you find a way to make that play. And then who knows the conversation you're having. But, it's just those are things that the New York Yankees are not known for. Those are plays. I'm going to be realistic here. Those are plays I'd expect the Mets to make. I've become immune to not turning double plays or the dropped fly balls. It happens, but
So when that happens to you guys, you just basically call it Tuesday.
I call it probably Tuesday.
It's just, we're used to this.
It is what it is, but you got to turn those plays. Like the Yankees of the 90s, they make those plays. Bernie Williams makes that catch. Jeter and Knobloch turn that double play. And the other part is something you brought up. You brought up the excuses. There's no accountability.
There isn't.
There's no accountability. Severino, well, the ball Bregman hit out was 91 miles per hour. Don't give a damn. He hit it out of the ballpark. Judge hit his ball 106. Well, guess what? It didn't go out of the ballpark. Aaron Boone, the roof was open. I don't care.
He's
If
very
the
anti-roof.
If the roof being open is what cost you a game, we have massive issues if that's the reason why you think you lost the game.
Mike, he's very pro-roof, isn't he?
I wouldn't want him to fix my roof.
I should have done this outside to protest his point and say, see, I'm anti-roof, Aaron Boone. I'm anti-roof.
Hope he needs his roof work done.
You gonna go work on his roof, Mike?
Nah.
Um,
Unless I was promised something big in return, no.
but I had the perfect name for if you were gonna do it. You be Rifkin.
There goes the Boone.
Okay, so with this series, before we move on to other aspects of this, leadership, manager, GM, I want to say this. This was probably one of the worst Yankee postseason losses that I've seen in a while as a Yankee fan. I would actually probably put it up there with
the 04 team?
Yes, I'd put it up there.
Ooh, okay.
I'd put it up there because you know what? This has been on my mind because there's been talk about the mental coach thing, how they sent a video of the 04.
Yeah, we this could lead into the Boone talk. So this
is of the 04 LCS. When, for those who don't know, that's when the Yankees were up 3-0, and then the Red Sox came back and won
4 in a row.
And won 4 in a row. Those were
that won the World Series.
That was the worst week of my life. But anyway, I want to ask you because I've been thinking about this the past couple of days, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
What's worse? Like what we just saw, being swept, or being up 3-0 and then choking? What's worse?
Ooh. I want to say the 3-0 is worse.
No, I agree. I'm going to say 3-0.
But I think it's a little bit different because the Reds, because they're both similar in this sense, like in terms of the Yankees, like the Red Sox are the Yankees' biggest rival.
Yes.
I think the Astros have become the second biggest rival.
I agree.
But I think this one hurts. This one hurts in a different way because everything that's happened in the past, you could have put everything to sleep by beating them, and you couldn't do it. But it's like we said before, like the difference between that team and this team was I would have more faith in that manager, in that team, than I would this team. Like, how often did Mariano Rivera blow a save in the playoffs?
Not very often.
Right. So I can't count on that.
Well, the three I can think of were, of course, Game 4 and Game 5 in the 2004 LCS, Game 7 of the 2001 World Series.
Luis Gonzalez.
But the thing is, the reason why I think the 3-0 is worse is because you had a chance to put it away.
Yeah.
Like, Game 4 of that series, you had the chance to put it away. Game 5, you had the chance to put it away.
Yeah, you know,
And,
Game 7, you get obliterated.
Game 6, the game was at least close. In Game 7, you just basically got shellacked.
I've always associated Game 7 of the 04 LCS to the Mets as Game 162 in 2008, where the Marlins just obliterated Tom Glavine.
I could see that.
Braves legend, Tom Glavine.
But you just got, but with this series, it's like when you're down 3-0, you're with this team. I'll be honest, like people were putting like, ooh, I see a 2004 type comeback coming. I'm like, with this team.
Well, and earlier in the year, people were comping this to the teams of the late 90s, and it's just
I hate when people do that. I really do. I hate when
it's
people
not
do
worth
that.
it.
Like they were saying, ooh, the best Yankee team since 1990.
Yeah, like, if you look at that team, like, okay, you want to equate it to that? Okay, who's Derek Jeter? I'll wait. There isn't a Derek Jeter on this team. There isn't a Paul O'Neill or a Bernie Williams or Cole's the ace, but after Cole, it was Nestor had a really good year, but is Nestor that good? I mean, we don't know.
But yeah, but that's and that's tying into Aaron Boone. And we're gonna get to who in a few. We're gonna get to him in a second.
Yeah, they're both back.
Well, it hasn't been named official. They said it's most likely gonna happen. And all I gotta say is, what the hell are these people thinking?
You know what I've got to say to this?
What do you have to say to this?
Applause! Applause! Everybody applause!
I should really copyright that. I really should.
The late great George Steinbrenner is turning over in his grave.
Oh, he is. And you know what?
If these two guys are back, and listen, Brian Cashman can have a job for life in the front office. He just shouldn't be making the roster personnel moves.
He shouldn't.
And Aaron Boone's not a manager. I'm sorry. How stupid and tone deaf do you have to be like, you know what? Let's send clips of the 04 Red Sox beating the New York Yankees in the LCS to prove coming back from 03 is totally possible. Who thought that was a good idea?
The mental skills coach.
Like who in their right mind thought that was a good idea? Like, even if the mental skills coach had the idea, Boone has to okay it. And
I think the idea was sort of well intended. Like, I get what they were trying to do, but it was a stupid idea nonetheless.
Yeah, I hate the way he uses his bullpen. I hate the way I think there are two guys in all of baseball, and I equate them to each other. The way the analytics work for them, and that's Boone and it's Dave Roberts. Because the Dodgers are the best team money can buy. The Yankees used to be that.
And you know what the thing is with the analytics, and we talked about this the other day. Boone is just basically a puppet for the front office.
Yep.
He's just basically a puppet for the front office, Rifkin. He's basically saying, the reports for the front office said that was a good idea to steal, where it was actually a horrible idea, but the nerds in the front office know best.
No, it's lame. It's excuse.
Go with your freaking gut, Boone. Go with your gut.
I don't think he has a gut. I really don't think he has a gut. He has no managerial instinct. He has And that was another big thing in this series. Like Dusty Baker went gut feel often, and he's a real manager. Aaron Boone's not a manager. Aaron Boone, he's a puppet. He has no backbone.
The guy is
Straight up, he's
gutless.
lame. Aaron Boone is lame.
The guy is gutless. And why did everyone think it was a great idea to bring him back? And you know what? I was watching a clip from Michael K's show the other day. Yeah, we're bringing Michael K up a lot in this vlog.
Shout
Sorry.
out Michael K.
If you're watching this, and we know you are, but you know, Michael K said, well, what leg do they have to stand on to fire Boone? Like last year, they had a big leg because you lost in the 1-game playoff. But he brought him to the LCS. They got no leg to stand on or something like that. Like, you got a huge leg to stand on to fire this guy. The guy's gutless. The guy has no idea what the hell he's doing.